Good blue, bad blue. We're here, and it is March. We're excited. I'm excited. You're
I
excited.
I am so fired up. My favorite podcast of the year. I
This
told you
is,
this in the beginning.
dude, this is my favorite time of the year because tomorrow, we're recording this the day after Selection Sunday. Tomorrow, not only does North Carolina play, because yes, they are in the tournament, also baseball starts. The Dodgers play the Chicago Cubs. Whoo, boy. I get both my team. Tomorrow is all sports. It's all sports all week. Justin's not going to leave his recliner.
I was gonna say you took the day off, right?
The whole week.
He took.
It's my favorite time of the year, man. This
Love
is
that.
it.
Love
This
that.
is it. I feel like a 12-year-old when Madden comes out. Like this
That's
is
right.
the greatest thing. So we filled out some brackets, Braden,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how we do. Last year we didn't do that well.
I got second.
You got second. Okay, cool. Okay, well we got 12 people in our group so far, so that's pretty good. If y'all want to join, message me. Let me know. I'll send you the link. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like my picks.
Okay.
Honestly, at all. Like 0% do I like my picks. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'm picking upsets." I'm picking a lot of upsets. And then I started filling out. I was like, "Holy cow! I got like no upsets." Like, I think. And Brandon, hear me out
Yes.
here. Hear me
I'm
out
listening. I can't
here.
wait.
Last year, I think we had two great teams, Purdue and UConn.
No question.
This year, I think there's a handful of really good teams. There is no great team. And honestly, there's a huge drop off after that handful of really good teams. Like there's no good teams. There's a few really good teams, and then there's just average.
There's favored teams.
Yeah,
Is that a good way to put it?
yeah. But this, my God, does college basketball just like who knows? This could be an exciting. Like I could miss every game
I don't think any team in this year's bracket could have played UConn last year.
or Purdue.
Yeah,
Yeah, or Purdue.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdue is. I still think that Purdue team is one of the best second place finishers in college basketball history.
They would be in the top 5.
Yes, for sure, absolutely. So how do you feel about your bracket? I told you I didn't like my picks. If you give me on a scale of confidence 1 to 10, I'm going with like a 2.
I feel good because of the good teams.
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel uneasy because of the average teams playing against the teams that think they're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got to remember, the average teams have nothing to play for but to win that one game.
Yeah.
They're not trying to get to the Final Four.
No.
Who are we kidding? They know they're in a one-game tournament because their consistency is not sustainable. When they win a big game, when a 3 knocks off a 14, the emotional high always carries over. I mean, we've seen a couple of exceptions. We've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Florida Gulf Coast and things like that get to the Elite 8.
George Mason made the Final
George
Four.
Mason made the Final
VCU's
Four.
made the Final Four.
VCU,
Yeah.
Loyola Chicago, Butler's a number
Yeah.
of
St.
teams.
Peter's made the Elite Eight the other
But it's
year.
extremely rare.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
biggest reason is the emotional letdown after a big win. So that's what these good to average teams really need to try to. That's what they're playing against.
Yes.
So
All right, so we'll start off with the South bracket, and before we even get into the bracket, obviously the number one controversy, North Carolina making the tournament. I feel like we're on the same boat here. They deserve to be in.
yes, I've actually evaluated this very thoroughly. I have a very strong for and against argument. My for argument actually goes to a point that you made at the beginning of the season and has almost proven true
Yeah.
because you got in. But you hated the tough schedule.
It's stupid. If Carolina,
Almost, you were this close.
all right, you take out 8 of those quad 1, because I still don't know what quad 1 means. You take out 4 of just take out, what did they have? They had 12 quad 1 games. So take out 6 of those, replace them with, average teams or cupcake teams. Carolina has 6 more wins. And then it's a question of, are they a 2 seed? Just because they're beating lesser teams.
I did the math on your losses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have 9 losses, 9 to teams in the top 15.
Yeah.
One team 3 times.
Yeah.
And then you've lost to, so basically you lost to 3 number 1 seeds,
Let's put it this way. They have
2 number 2 seeds.
Yeah, they have 1 loss to a team not playing this week.
Wake Forest. Yes, Wake Forest. That's
Yeah.
the loss.
Yeah.
So that's the for argument. The against argument is I do think there were some teams that played some tougher schedules, like a West Virginia. They played it. Okay, but
No, I'm with you on West Virginia. They should have been in.
But
100%.
I also feel like, and I also use this as the the final thing to make the decision. If they play each other right now, who wins the game?
Carolina beats every other team.
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
I fully agree
yeah.
that they would mop up West Virginia. I
Texas.
mean, it was a handicapped Duke team, but
Yeah.
that comeback was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we
I
won't
mean,
even talk about that
I
game because
think
I still feel
Justin,
like
I
the refs. That was a ref
it
job
was
in the first
in
half.
both games.
Yeah.
Duke had a goaltending that should never have been called, and Duke should have been called for a flagrant on Gamba.
And then the flagrant on Washington, I don't even think was the guy's in his face.
He
Like
did not. Okay, that was really egregious.
that's
That
the
didn't need to
softest.
happen.
That's
That
the
didn't-
softest flagrant foul.
It was
I've ever seen.
completely inadvertent. Gongba hit him on purpose, and they just walked by it.
100%. And they don't even look at it.
Now Duke got called on a goaltending that was about a foot it was about a foot in the air away from the glass. I mean, it was not goaltending.
I don't know what goaltending is anymore. By the way, I don't know. I really
Well,
don't.
it's kind of like a travel. I'm not sure what a
Well, I
travel
was going to say
is
it's kind of like a
anymore either.
catch in the NFL. I don't really know.
No, that's true too. But at the end of the day, and there's a lot of people that disagree with us, fine, whatever, comment and tell us why.
Yeah.
They got in, they should be in.
Yeah, I think they should be in, and I think West Virginia should have been in. I think the two teams. I think there's a matchup in this tournament where neither team should be in, and that's Texas and Xavier. Texas won 6 games in their conference.
Read my mind.
6 games in their conference. I don't care what conference you're playing in.
They only had basically they just had a good SEC tournament run
Yeah.
that got them in.
So I'm gonna propose something to you right here.
Oh.
What if the selection committee gets together and they go, you know what? The top 4 in each major conference automatically is in. Because it's
And
a
just make
it's
it 16 qualifying teams.
well, but then after that, maybe there's even a limit on how many from each conference make it. Because it's a joke that 14 SEC teams are in this tournament.
You think?
Texas should not be in. I'm not even sure.
I'll give you Texas, but there's a bunch of teams there that have a bunch of really good ones.
Mississippi State.
Well, they're going to get the chance to see how good they are.
Oklahoma.
I think Oklahoma's a solid team. I definitely think they're a tournament team. They won the Battle of Atlantis. I mean, they had really good, wins over this year. I mean,
Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They're a 6 seed, so I mean, that's who you play next if you win.
Just saying, I have half the SEC teams losing in the first weekend.
Well, there's a lot of them there, so the chances of your math are right.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, let's get to the bracket. We're going to start with the South. That's Auburn's region. They're number 1. Michigan State number 2. Number 3 is Iowa State. Number 4 is Texas A&M. You get 2 play-in games. 2 play-in games in this region, by the way. Alabama State and St. Francis of Pennsylvania, and then San Diego State and North Carolina. Brandon, we'll start with you. Let's look at that first round. What's the number 1 matchup that you're watching for sure?
Louisville Creighton.
Yes, agreed.
By far. And because I think Auburn got a royal screw job there. You got 2 teams that should be either 4 or 5 seeds.
Well, Louisville was the number 2 team in the ACC.
They lost 2 conference games
They
all
made
the
the title game.
Yes. And
They're
they actually played decent in the title game.
And they're an 8 seed.
That's just mean to do.
And the team that finished 3rd in the ACC is a 5 seed that they beat in the ACC tournament. And Creighton, what were they in the Big East?
Weren't they 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah.
And they get to be a 9 seed?
I
don't even know who to call in that game, honestly. And either one of them is a terrible matchup for Auburn.
Agreed. Absolutely. 100%. And that is by far, that might actually be the best first round matchup.
My opinion,
of any bracket. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I think Creighton wins that.
Okay.
I just think, I think Creighton's a tougher team. And I think, it's a coin flip, but I think Creighton's been there.
Yeah, they have.
And that still, to me, is always going to play a factor.
This is brand new for Louisville.
Yes.
They just took it on the chin from Duke, really at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But, they kind of got put in their place, and sometimes that can carry over.
Yeah.
You have an emotional high. You think you have a chance to win an ACC title because Cooper's not playing.
Yeah.
But then, you get that letdown. It can carry over, but I also think they have a great coach.
Oh, yeah.
Who's really done a lot of good things there.
For sure.
What's his name? Chucky Hepburn is.
Yeah, great player.
He's like a poor man's Mark Sears.
Yeah.
And that's a compliment. I mean, he's going to be a fit for Creighton to handle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think.
So I did go Louisville in that game.
Yeah, okay. So I went Creighton. I like Kalkbrenner. I think he's going to be a difference
It would
maker.
not shock me if Creighton won the game.
No, it wouldn't shock me if Louisville wins either.
Sure.
Do we have an upset in this region in the first round? Do you have an upset?
Give me your definition of an upset.
A lower seed beating a higher seed.
So like, is 10 over a 7 seriously an
Yeah,
upset?
yeah,
Okay, I think it's too
yeah.
close together.
Yeah, I think that's a
Um,
popular upset. You got New
I
Mexico.
hate
Did you pick
Texas A&M's matchup with Yale.
Yale?
I hate that game for Texas A&M. This is also the same Yale team that beat Auburn last year in this same exact
Yeah,
predicament,
yeah.
3-14 or
4 and
13
13.
and
Yeah,
4, excuse me.
yeah.
And they're scrappy, they play good ball, and they have nothing better to do than to knock off another SEC 4 seed.
And what's crazy is I think whoever wins that game could easily win the next round too.
They were my second choice. You talk about UC San Diego over Michigan?
No, no, yo, I'm saying I think Michigan wins that game, but I'm saying
Okay.
Texas A&M or Yale. I think if Yale wins that game,
Could
they
beat
could beat Michigan
Michigan.
also. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
What do you,
I don't think that's surprising at all. My first round upset would be San Diego State over Mississippi.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's my first round
So you
upset.
got yourself losing.
Well, I think whoever wins the Carolina game beats Mississippi. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any faith in Mississippi at all.
That's where I kind of disagree with you a little bit. Look what they've been playing against all year. They have
Yeah, but
zero fear of either one of y'all.
yeah, I mean,
Zero.
so what do you have? You have one, two, three.
They
You have three SEC teams in this
they had to
bracket.
go somewhere.
Yeah, and I
There's
bet
13 of was it
yeah,
13 or 14?
14,
14 of them. Yes, that's correct.
14. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I only got uh one of them making it past the second round, and that would be Auburn. I got Auburn beating Creighton, and I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one.
That's a hard one to pick.
I flipped a
You
coin,
should have.
and honestly, what the difference to me was the fact that I did pick Michigan to beat Texas A&M, and I said, you know what? I can't have Michigan make it all the way to the Elite Eight.
All right. We're gonna have some fun on
So
this one.
sadly, I just picked Auburn just out of, I guess, I don't know. Like this whole bracket, I'm just like, I really don't see any of these teams. Whoever comes out of this bracket is getting destroyed in the Final Four. I don't see any of these teams as a national title contender.
I see one.
You see one, and it's going to be Michigan State.
Yes, it is.
100%. Yeah. I do think they got the best odds in this division.
You were right about the Fighting Izzos. I've been doubting
Yeah.
you all year.
Yeah.
I've been taunting you in text messages.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
And I was wrong,
Yeah.
and you were right. That team is serious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tom Izzo,
They played
he's
a
ready.
bad SEC.
Big Ten.
They
Yeah.
played a bad Big Ten
Yeah,
tournament, but
he does. I don't think he cares about that.
sure.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sold on any of this. I guess is there any matchups that you really want to see later
Yes.
on in this? Yeah, which
Yes,
one?
I do.
Yeah, let me. Is
And it's
it?
the one that I picked.
Oh yeah, is North Carolina Michigan State?
No.
No. Oh well, they play each other every time. So
I know, and I would.
I have San Diego
feel
State.
I feel like if you did get there, you
Yeah.
would win just on sheer principle.
Yeah, and I got
They cannot win a game, except for this year, of course.
yeah,
They cannot win a game on you.
I got San Diego State and North Carolina beating Michigan State.
All right.
And Carolina should beat Michigan State back in Maui, by the way. Cadeau missed an easy layup, but whatever. They lost in overtime. No, what's a matchup that you want to see?
Well, it's the matchup I want to see, and it's the matchup I have in the Elite Eight. It's a good old-fashioned Big Ten rivalry, same state.
Oh, Michigan and Michigan
Yes,
State?
I do.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
I got Michigan State
like it.
taking it down.
So neither one of us have Auburn making the final.
No, I
Neither
think
of us have Auburn.
I think they're reeling right now.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
They're not playing good ball. They got an absolute. If it were I'm gonna keep it G-rated. They got absolutely screwed sideways in their bracket. They have to play an absolute. They have to deal with Louisville or Creighton, which that's gonna wear. Okay, I think they'll win the game, but that's the type of game that could take a toll on them in the Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah.
Against a good
Yeah.
team like Michigan, who is hot right now.
Yeah.
They're playing very well. They play great defense. I mean, that's the type of game that these are the games that Auburn does not want to play. I will tell you this: if they do get to the Final Four, then
I still
whoever
think,
gets to the Final Four has really done an amazing
I still
job.
think if Auburn gets to the Final Four, they get walloped by whoever they play. I will say I think if Creighton beats Auburn, I think Creighton makes the Final Four.
Tell you what, you'll win your bracket if you pick that pick. But
No, I didn't pick that,
But it's
no.
not out of. But it's not out of line either.
Yeah. No, I didn't pick that at all.
They have
I
a great
picked-
coach.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, and they've been so close for the last couple of
Yeah.
years that it's time for Creighton to get over the hump. Kind of like it was time for, Gonzaga to finally get over the hump the year that they finally made it. So, Yeah, to me, I think this bracket is wide open, actually, which is crazy considering that Auburn's the overall number one seed and Michigan State is, I'm still not even sold on Michigan State. I do think Michigan State's the best team in this bracket, though.
You know what I noticed we didn't talk about with this bracket at all?
Yeah,
It was Iowa State.
I would say, well, I've lost all faith in them,
I
man.
think they're gonna.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just kind of, I got,
They won't get
yeah.
out of the second round.
No, I got San Diego State slash UNC beating them. Like,
What happened?
yeah, it's
I almost had that.
yeah. I think, and what's crazy is like you're calling me crazy, but honestly, if Carolina gets past that first round, this sets up very similar to the 22 run that they had, where I feel like every matchup kind of fits them. Honestly, like Iowa State is not that bad of a matchup for them. Michigan State, they almost beat them earlier in the year, and I mean,
But
that's always
I do need to ask you this,
Yeah.
and then we can move on to the next region if you want to.
Mhm.
I've been dying to ask you
Yeah.
this question,
yeah,
and this is not me making fun.
yeah.
Do you think that loss to Duke, the way that it happened, could carry over
Oh,
and
no,
just
not at
really break some hearts? You don't think so?
No, not at all.
You don't think they're emotionally down?
No, I think if this team was to give
Okay.
up, they would have given up already. I think.
I mean, they proved they're not afraid. They were down by 24
Yeah.
to Duke, and
That's what I'm saying.
they were in position to win the game.
Yeah, they were down by 24 after getting beat pretty easily the week before too. So I don't think this team's giving up, man. I really don't. I actually got
Let's
faith.
see it.
I got more faith in this team right now than I did 2 weeks ago, which is crazy.
I don't. You know what? I don't doubt that. I mean, they played against. I mean, all they've done is play killers.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's move on to the West
Let's
bracket.
go.
That's the Florida bracket at number 1. 2 is St. John's. 3 is Texas Tech. 4 is Maryland. And this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier, where you have a few really good teams, Florida and St. John's, and then to me, I think it's kind of a big drop off. I think 3 Texas Tech is kind of a big drop off from 2 St. John's. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't have any faith in Texas Tech. I don't know. But this bracket actually, though, is kind of tough. I feel like
Oh, really?
for the middle ranks, I think Florida and St. John's have a pretty easy path to the Elite Eight.
You're completely reading my mind.
Yeah, I think all the other games in the middle, just flip a coin. Like I could see Grand Canyon beating Maryland.
I'm honestly going to pick Florida getting out of this region by double digits every game.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
so.
I can literally
Yeah.
just make it that simple. We can delve further into the upsets,
Yeah.
but I mean, that is just my pick right now with
Yeah.
my brain and, my heart. I think they walk this region.
I think so too. I think I honestly probably started thinking about 2 weeks ago that Florida could have been the best team in the country, and now their defense is really good,
Yeah.
but they can also score 100 points.
They're the only team. There's 2 teams in the entire country
Yeah,
that have a top 5 offense
Yeah.
and a top 5 defense.
yeah, it's Florida and Duke.
Florida
Yeah.
and Duke. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Do you have any upsets in this bracket?
Yes,
in the
I
first round?
do.
I got one.
I want to hear it. I went first last time.
All right, I got Drake beating Missouri. Yeah,
We need to write these down.
yeah. Is that what you got too?
100%.
Yeah, I think I actually think Drake's a pretty decent team.
I think this is a bad matchup. I mean, a bad
Yeah.
matchup for Missouri. I think after playing in a tough SEC tournament, you got to play a team that wants to play fast paced and big time. And I also have another upset. I cannot take my eyes off.
Okay, I got no other upsets in the first one.
Oh, I do.
Who do you got?
I
What's
think
the other one?
Texas.
Colorado
I
State.
think Texas Tech is in trouble.
Oh, to Wilmington? I could see that. Wilmington's not a bad team. I can
No.
see that.
If
Yeah.
I had to put cash money on it, I would take TT.
Yeah.
But still,
So-
that's a tough game.
Yeah, so we got 4 SEC teams in this bracket,
Yes.
right? Because you got Florida, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Texas Tech, and Arkansas. No, Texas Tech, not Texas Tech in the SEC. Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 4. I got 2 of them winning the first round. I got Florida and Texas Tech winning the first round.
Okay.
I do got Kansas beating Arkansas. I think that could be a pretty
I
good game,
don't.
actually. You got Arkansas winning?
I think Kansas is toast.
I think Arkansas sucks. I think Arkansas is.
John Calipari, he's turned this
I
around.
think you should replace Arkansas with West Virginia right there, and
That's a good argument.
there's just no way I think Arkansas is an NCAA tournament team, and I think honestly this is one of the few matchups I think Kansas can actually win in the first round.
I'm not sure Kansas was a tournament team.
I would have been perfectly fine if they didn't make it. They have the same record as North Carolina.
They have a couple of big wins from the
Yeah.
beginning of the season. They beat Michigan State and they beat Duke.
Yeah.
Okay. But the way they reeled at the end of and that's
Yeah.
another thing I wonder why is not taken more into consideration. It doesn't always have to be about record. If you have a team that's sitting there losing every third game it's
Yeah.
playing or winning or losing 2 and 3 in a row, which Kansas
this-
did, and they're
Yeah.
double-digit losses. No, I think they're a total train wreck. I have no idea what Bill Self's doing over there. I hate it because I have loved him as a coach, but that program is in shambles.
Well, his problem
right
is
now.
Hunter Dickinson.
I bet he can't wait. I bet he can't wait till he's gone.
No, they'll be way better next year. Automatically, I'm putting Kansas in my Final Four next year. No idea who's on their team, nothing, but I'm penciling in right now.
They have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, but I think Carolina beats Kansas or Arkansas right now.
I would fully agree with that.
Yeah.
I really would.
And I think it's unbelievable that they were not questionable on the bubble at all. How were neither one of those teams questionable on the bubble? I have no idea.
Well, y'all were number one in the country and didn't do well. You didn't make the tournament.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Why is it
That's what I'm
fair?
saying. Yeah. I think it was just because, yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think they just really want to hate on Carolina right now. UConn and Oklahoma. You got UConn making past the first round?
I do not.
You don't? Okay.
I have
well,
Oklahoma.
I
I'm
got-
telling you, I think they're
yeah.
a good team.
I think UConn. UConn, they had the most blocks
They
in the
don't play
country. Well, they have the most blocks, though.
They have the most blocks out down low, but they don't defend anything else.
I still got UConn winning just because Dan Hurley is a magician. I do got Florida beating them, though. So I got UConn. Neither one of us have UConn making a run. So
Well,
there you go.
my thing with UConn is they have a target on their back right now. We know it's obviously not the same team
Yeah.
as the last 2 years,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they still have a target.
Oh, big one.
Everybody wants to say they beat the two-time
Mhm.
national defending champ.
Oh, yeah.
6-time champ,
Yeah.
two-time
Two-time
defending champ.
Yeah, back to back.
Back to back.
Memphis and Maryland could be a good game. Do you have that matchup?
I don't.
You don't really.
I got Memphis going home.
You got them losing to Colorado State. See, I think
I think Colorado State is massively underrated. This is a
I agree
team
with
that's been that's an 8 or 9 seed.
I do agree with that actually, but
They should be where Louisville is right now.
I mean, I think you could put Colorado State easily where Oklahoma is. Just flip flop them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think this is Memphis's year to finally make a run. I think Penny's due. I think he's a good coach. So I got them going to the Sweet 16.
Nothing shocks me.
Yeah. So I got them going to the Sweet 16. Elite Eight. Do we both got Florida St. John's?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got Florida winning. Yeah. Same as you.
I'm going double digits
Yeah.
for the region.
Yeah.
They might even
Yeah.
go double digits to the title game.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't see. So I got them. I got them
They
beating.
might double digit the whole tournament.
Yeah, I got them beating Norfolk State probably by 7,000. Who knows? I think they beat UConn pretty easily. I think they beat Memphis. That could be their closest game, and I still think they win by 15.
I did put Maryland there.
Yeah, I mean Maryland's not a bad pick. I mean Memphis and Maryland is kind of a toss-up. I just feel like Penny is due a good run, and plus I like little Penny.
Mhm.
And if you go up to
Well,
if you go up to my bedroom, you see the Penny Hardaway cutout. So big Penny fan. So we both got Florida. Let's move on to the East. That's your bracket there.
all right.
That's the Duke bracket with Alabama.
I'll be objective, I promise.
Yeah, that's Duke, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Arizona. Possibly the best top four, I feel like,
I-
of any bracket.
Actually think Duke got the easiest bracket they could get.
Well, yeah.
Wisconsin is so overseeded, it's ridiculous.
See, I actually disagree with that. I actually
Do you think they play like
Yeah.
a 3 seed? I don't.
I think Wisconsin's actually a good team
Alright.
this year.
Well, they're a good team, but I mean, I don't think they're not a team that's scary. They don't have superior weapons.
Yeah. This is another bracket to me where it's funny because I feel like there's a lot of just weird games that you could pick.
Yeah.
Trying to think here. It looks like I just have one upset in the first round. I got Akron beating Arizona.
A lot of people are picking that.
Well,
I
you know,
don't have it. I
it's-
think it's Caleb Love's last show. He's going to play good.
no. See, you have it the opposite. It's his last show, so he makes it the most eventful way to lose, which is to Akron. In the
I
first
would
round.
love it. I would love it. I don't like Arizona. I have nothing but
Yeah.
bad things to say about them and their program. This goes back from 2011 when they mauled Duke and they let us all hear about it. Don't forget, we still have the 0-1 title game.
Yeah.
I would love to see Akron win, but I just don't see it happening. But,
Well,
hey,
That's my
things
one
happen.
upset. Do you have an upset
I do.
there? You do.
It's
all
right
right.
beside it.
It's right.
I got
beside-
Liberty taking down Oregon.
Really? Wow. That's okay. So we totally disagree on that one.
I don't think Oregon's that tough.
See, I got them in the Elite Eight, so We totally definitely disagree
You
there.
have them in the Elite
Yeah,
Eight.
have Oregon in the Elite Eight. Yeah,
Wow.
it's I don't know who else to pick there. That top half of that bracket, I think, is you can
Love
pick
it.
literally all four teams I have in the second round. You could pick any of those four, and I'd be like, okay.
We're supposed to be objective, Justin.
No, I'm just saying. I really think. I mean, I think Akron could make the Elite Eight.
You and I both know that anything's possible in the
Yeah.
NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Let's. How many SEC teams do we got here? One. You got to help me here because I don't know all the teams. Is it just one, two, three? We got three
We
SEC
got,
teams again.
let's
Is
see,
it
the
Mississippi
third
State,
one.
Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Alabama?
That's correct.
All right. So I have one. I have one winning in the first round. And that's Alabama.
I'm sure. So you have Vandy
Yeah.
going home.
Gee, 1,000%. That's
You and I agree on Baylor and Mississippi State.
honestly, I forgot Vanderbilt even had a basketball team until they did the bracket, and I said, oh yeah, that's right, they have a team.
The St. Mary's team is good.
St. Mary's is the best team in the West Coast Conference, which honestly might be the fifth best conference in America these days. It's crazy to me that they're a 7 seed,
Yeah.
and it would not surprise me if they make a run in this tournament, especially if the Dakota kid, Grant Nelson, isn't 100%.
That's a scary thought. They have to have him.
If he doesn't play in that first weekend, St. Mary's wins that game.
So
But I'm counting on him playing, so I got to help him.
I think he'll play, but I just think that they actually have some obstacles in their way that they're bad matchups for them.
Yes.
Big time.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you though. I think when it gets to the Sweet 16, I think there's definitely some matchups here that I want to see that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Oregon and Baylor, I think, will be a super exciting game. That's not a conference. No, that's not a conference game nowadays.
No, Oregon and Big
Yeah.
10 and Big 12.
I think that's an exciting matchup though. I think Baylor. People forget who Baylor's point guard is. They got a good point guard.
We didn't forget who Baylor's point guard is.
Just saying, yeah.
And he gets to see what he decided to leave it.
Well,
You know.
I don't know if he decided to leave. I think that was like a. I was like, hey,
Your services are no
Yeah, that was-
longer needed.
yeah.
We have 4 point guards coming in that are all 6'6" and taller. You can move.
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, he didn't fit that team in, but yeah, I got Baylor beating Duke. Yeah, I think that's
I've seen. Listen, there's not.
like I said, man.
I've seen how I love to go back and count. I've seen plenty of 8-1 matchups go way
100%,
bad.
Yeah.
Plenty.
So yeah, that.
But it won't be this one. I think Duke is a horrendous matchup for anybody in their top 4.
yeah.
I don't think, and yeah, there's a little
Actually,
fandom,
I
but I'm
think-
realistic too. They're the most talented team in the country by far. Maybe not by far. Florida's really good too. But I think their defense is too stifling. I think they're way too large. It's going to be almost impossible for those teams to stop the lob to Malawach. You know, they're so hard to defend and they play stifling defense the whole way through. So that's just my quick take on Duke for the region.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Alabama would match up
and
well
I
with
think
too.
they got a very good bracket.
They definitely. I mean, even with the top 4, they might have the easiest bracket.
I think they definitely have the easiest bracket.
I mean, I just like Baylor in that matchup. I think they got the better coach. I think their point guard. I think Jeremy Roach just finds a way to beat his former team. But even if Duke does win that game, I'm not sure they get through Oregon or Alabama. I actually think that ends up being a tough.
I agree with
but-
you 100%
yeah.
because I think they're getting through Arizona without a problem. They already did it once this year
yeah.
in their house.
Yeah. Well,
I think we have an almost chalk bracket here. Almost chalk.
almost. So you got Duke and Alabama in the
I do
Elite Eight?
not.
No,
I have Duke and BYU.
really? Wow.
Yes.
I got BYU.
BYU is a much tougher team than people realize.
Yeah. And they're only going to get better.
If I knew that Grant Nelson was completely healed, he has a knee injury. That's
Yeah.
tough to play through.
Oh yeah.
We don't really know. A rolled ankle and a knee sprain are way, way, way different.
Oh, for sure.
Way different. So if he's not 100%, it's going to be hard for them to make a run. Now, if he comes out and he's playing like his usual self, I'll probably go back and wish I could have changed the bracket because I could absolutely see a Duke and Alabama matchup that would be an absolute heater. It really would. That'd be
Yeah.
a great game. But I feel like knee injuries are a lot worse than people
Oh, for sure.
realize.
Yeah, 100%.
So I got I got Duke taking down BYU in the Elite Eight, going to the Final
I
Four.
think the BYU, I got BYU and Wisconsin playing in the second round,
Okay.
and I actually think that could be the most exciting game in this bracket.
I think that one's coming down to the wire. I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think that will be the most.
I chose Wisconsin to win though. I think BYU is 1 year away. Next year they get AJ, however you pronounce his last name,
Ivanatha,
and
Bonsa, or whatever.
Bonsa. Yeah. I think BYU. Honestly, just looking ahead right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put Kansas and BYU in my Final Four next year. I don't even know who's on the teams, but
We haven't even had the portal yet.
that's
so
what I'm saying.
We don't know
Yeah.
who's going anywhere.
Well, BYU is obviously in because they just bought AJ, so they're gonna buy other players.
I love it. And I get so much crap from people. I know.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love it. I'm glad they're getting paid.
They should. Yeah.
They should. Yes.
But it's still they need to, and you can't be switching. You can't have 5 teams in 5 years. Like that's just ridiculous. I got Alabama coming out of this region though. I think
I don't hate it.
I think
don't hate
Grant
it.
Nelson. Well, I hate it because I don't think Alabama's a Final Four team. Even though all year long I've said they were the best team. But the way they're just when you actually sit down and look at how they're played, they give up way too many points.
Yes, that's a problem.
Way too many points, and I just don't know if they can score enough to keep up with some of these teams. But again, I just got them winning because I mean,
Because Duke's in the region. That's why he has them winning.
well, I mean, yeah, probably, but also, I mean, you can't pick Oregon to win. I mean, Oregon's not a Final Four team.
Oregon's
so-
going home after the first game, according to my bracket.
There you go.
I
Which
mean,
is like I said,
I've been
yeah.
wrong 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah,
I can
this-
live
yeah.
with it, but
So you got Duke winning probably that division, right? Or that
I
region,
have
yeah.
Duke taking
Okay.
down BYU to get to the
Okay.
Final Four.
All right,
Absolutely.
So we disagree there. Okay, now Midwest, last bracket. That's Houston.
Great bracket.
Houston, Tennessee, Kentucky, Purdue, and then the best 5 seed ever probably in Clemson. I say that because it's crazy that the third team, the ACC,
They're
is
the
the 5
second
seed.
best 5 seed in this tourney.
Who's the best one?
Michigan.
Yeah, possibly. That's yeah. Well, how many SEC teams do we got this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 5.
Let's see. Texas, I've almost missed them. Kentucky,
Georgia.
Tennessee, Georgia. There's
So
four.
four. Okay, 4. Okay, so we got 4 this time. How many do you got winning in the first round?
I have all of them.
Really? I got 2.
Who's losing?
Georgia
Very possible.
and Texas.
So I don't think Gonzaga's as tested as Georgia is. Georgia has good wins.
Man, this is just my hatred towards the SEC.
You hate the SEC.
I don't see how
I love it. It's
I
so
don't see
cute.
how the second best team in the West Coast Conference doesn't beat the 13th place team, the SEC.
You're gonna love.
Just saying.
You're
Like,
gonna love how I did this.
Well, I got Illinois beating Texas Xavier, and I think it's Xavier, not Texas. I think Texas is the worst team in the tournament.
I mean, they were ranked near 68th, right?
I
Or
think
not,
we're-
well, it's not 68th. It's
yeah, I think it's
35, 36,
yeah.
37.
And honestly, I don't even want to pick Kentucky to win, but they're playing Troy. And when I think of Troy, I think of the movie with Brad Pitt. So obviously, I can't pick them to win because that was a bad
They
movie.
are playing with a little bit of added pressure to them. I understand it's a new coaching staff.
Yeah,
You know,
but they got to win.
but that whole thing is still hovering around the program.
They haven't won one
Get
this decade, right? They've won one.
They
game,
won one
game
game
this
since
decade?
2020.
Yeah, yeah.
And they took a horrible loss
Well,
to
even in 19, didn't they?
Jack
lose in the first round,
Golke
too?
last year,
Yeah.
and they were who again?
I don't know.
Either way, it doesn't matter. They were 3 seed and they got knocked out.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening.
No. Man, I got this. Let's see. I got
This is my exciting bracket.
Yeah, I
right
got
here.
this one as this one's pretty exciting for me too. Let's just go to the Sweet 16. Let's
Okay,
give it.
perfect.
So here's the numbers of my Sweet 16, like the rankings. Are you ready? I got 8 versus 5 and 6
Oh.
versus 2.
we got 2 of them right.
Okay. So I do got Gonzaga making it just because for some reason I just have no faith in Houston now. I
Gonzaga
have
and
no idea.
Clemson.
Man, I have no faith in
Love
Houston
it.
now. Have no faith in Houston. And Clemson was an Elite 8 team last year. And honestly, I think Clemson has 2 easy games. I think they beat Will Wade and McNeese. And then I think Clemson beats High Point or Purdue. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. High Point. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So I think Clemson, not only is Clemson a really good team, I think they have a really good bracket. So I got them all the way to the Elite Eight, actually.
It's
Back to
pretty.
back years.
This is how
Back-to-back
you
years.
know you do a podcast
They're
with the
a
same guy, and
Clemson
you
is
do.
a Clemson is a basketball school now.
They are very much. A
Dabo
basketball
is the
school.
second best coach on campus.
They are way off. How are you finished 10th in the country and get a 5 seed?
You know, I had to do a
How
double
does this
take.
math
But
work?
also, not just that, Louisville was
Same
13th.
thing. Yes.
Louisville was 13th. They're an 8
They
seed.
beat number 10, and because of horrible refing,
Yeah.
where they forgot what a foul was. But horrible refing, that the most egregious call of the whole night.
I'm so glad the ACC's done because, God, Lee had to work.
Fire those
over, man.
refs. That
Jesus.
was horrendous.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe we might have the same Elite Eight.
you got Illinois and Kentucky in the second round because I think that could actually be a great matchup.
I do not.
You
I
don't-
have Illinois getting beat.
By Texas
I think
or
they're
Xavier?
massive. Well, right now it's as Texas or Xavier.
Yeah. But I mean, which one do you pick?
Oh,
Or
Xavier,
just
for
either-
sure.
just
I
either
think
one?
Texas is hot trash.
Okay, yeah.
No, I got Xavier
see
for
that.
sure.
I could see.
I mean, they had a bad loss in their conference
Yeah.
tourney too, but they've been more consistent all year
See, this
than
is
Texas is.
this is another part where I hate myself because I got Illinois beating Kentucky, and
Oh.
I actually want to throw up right now just thinking that I have Illinois in the Sweet 16.
I mean, Duke undressed them by like almost 50.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I want to throw up a little bit right now because there's no world in which Louisville or Illinois, should win 2 tournament games. But here we are in my bracket. I have them winning 2 games.
Hey, that's your right to pick.
So let's talk about our first round upsets, Bob.
All right,
we never talked about.
Yeah, we did.
What's
Right.
crazy is I only have one. I only have one
We
first
have
round
the same
upset.
one. No, I have.
You got Texas
one.
or Xavier beating Illinois.
I have 1, 2, 3,
Jeez.
4.
Jeez. All right. So the one I have is Utah State over UCLA. Do you have that one at least?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So we agree on that one.
Okay.
What's the other ones you got? Obviously,
Xavier.
yeah, Xavier over Illinois.
I mean, I get credit for Texas either way.
Either
but
way, yeah.
Either one. I have High Point taking down Perdon't.
Okay, yeah.
I have Georgia over Gonzaga.
Okay.
I just think they're so much more battle tested.
Yeah,
It's going to make a difference.
sure.
And Houston's going to have an absolute dogfight with Georgia.
Man, I got
Pun intended.
Houston losing to Gonzaga.
You did say that.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
say
So I got two 1 seeds losing in the second round.
I do not.
Yeah. Well, you're a smarter man than I am.
Not really.
So Elite Eight, do we got? I got Clemson, Tennessee.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Battle of the Oranges. Battle of the Oranges. At one point in time, people would say that this would be a great championship game in college football. But now they're both basketball schools.
Both basketball.
They're both basketball schools because honestly, their football teams are overrated.
Especially Clemson.
I actually think this could be the best Elite Eight matchup out of all the ones that we've had.
With you.
I got Tennessee winning though.
I think we're going to have boring Elite Eights, and yes, I have Tennessee as well. I have them going to the Final Four.
There we go. Tennessee. If Tennessee had won the SEC title game, I would say Tennessee is the best team in the country.
That Florida team is just playing at a different level right now, though.
Agreed. 100%. So that leads us to the Final Four.
Finals. Here we go.
So I got Tennessee and Alabama on the right side.
You do, Tennessee. So you're going a lot of SEC.
I'm going 3. I got 3.
You hate them.
I got 3 SEC teams in the Final Four.
That's not bad. Not bad. And completely in the realm of possibility.
Oh,
it's not like you're making just illogical picks.
No.
I could see 4.
Yeah, Auburn easily could make it 4. Yeah.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M.
They have a shot.
Yeah. Mississippi apparently is a good team according to you, so they could make
Ole
it.
Miss?
Yeah.
I think they beat either one of y'all.
So I got Alabama and Tennessee on the right side, and I think Tennessee wins that game. So I got Tennessee in the title game, man.
All right, Tennessee.
What do you got
Florida?
on the? Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, no, that's what I got. That's what I got. Tennessee.
Oh, you do have Tennessee and Florida?
Yeah. What do you have on the right side?
I have Duke and Tennessee.
Duke and Tennessee? I'm sure you got Duke winning, probably.
I do.
Yeah.
But it's not. But that's not a heart pick.
Yeah.
This is actually a bad matchup for Tennessee. Duke can match them in every single physical category.
Oh yeah, if they play each other, there's no doubt. I think that Duke probably kills them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be the last team that Tennessee would want to see there.
For sure.
I got Tennessee though. I think Tennessee wallops Alabama. I don't even think that's close.
Didn't they do that in the SEC tournament?
Yeah.
Tennessee beat Auburn.
Yeah,
in the
Tennessee
SEC
beat Auburn.
tournament.
So on the left side, Michigan State and Florida.
Same here.
The rematch of the 2000 title game. Um, I got Florida probably winning by like 30. I don't know. I
I'm
don't.
not going to say 30, but I'm going to say 12.
Yeah, okay.
I think they keep the double digit run.
So then do we got Florida? I got Florida beating Tennessee.
That's right. There you go.
I got
I
Florida beating Tennessee. I think
okay.
it's a rematch from the SEC title game, and I think once again Florida wins. And I actually think this time Florida wins by a lot again.
So you think there? I mean, you kind of have almost the same mind frame as me that they're just going to roll this thing.
Yeah, I think I don't. I think well, I think the
They're going to do
matchups.
what UConn did the last 2 years.
Well, I think the matchups work for them more. So I think the UConn team. I think the UConn teams were just really good. I think this Florida team. Well, the UConn teams were. Well, the second one was great, but I think the Florida team. I think a lot of it just has to do with matchups, and I think these matchups. Every match I have, I think fits them well, where they can just easily win. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
I don't think there's a team that matches up with them that they have to play in my bracket. So yeah, I got Florida beating Tennessee by 26 in the title game.
26.
Yeah, yeah,
So basically, the NBA version of Florida is going to show up in this game.
yeah. I had it.
All their
Yeah,
former NBA players.
yeah. I picked 89 to 63. So I don't know.
I think. I'll tell you, hey, Gator Nation, send this guy. He's good at picking games. I'm telling you, you should bet on him.
Yeah, we'll see. Florida. Sorry, Florida. Sorry, y'all losing second round.
I wouldn't be sorry
Hey, I
a
did have the
bit.
I. You know, we did the show last year. I did have the title game correct. So
So did I. I was with you
so did
completely.
98% of the country.
Because that was easy. This year's not so easy.
I think I missed. I think I
It
missed.
is.
I think I missed the other two
We
Final
have
Four teams this year, though.
way more of a level playing field
Oh yeah,
here,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah.
I have Duke taking down Florida in the title
Well,
game,
there you
and
go.
not just because they're my boys,
Yeah,
because I think they're actually the only team that can really match up with Florida with their intensity, with their offense, with their playmaking ability, with their rebounding, and definitely with the physicality. And I have Duke winning 78 to 72.
oh, close game. Yeah,
Well, I actually think it's a high scoring game considering how good their defenses are,
yeah,
but they also have top five offenses. So I feel like if they didn't play each other, one of the other one would probably put up 90. Well, if Duke's there and Florida's not, they'll put up 90 in the title game, and
yeah.
vice versa, because they have stifling defenses and big offenses. Both of these teams, in my opinion, are the two. To me, this is kind of like UConn and Purdue a little bit. They're just not seated appropriately. And I'm sorry, Auburn, you did not deserve the number one overall seed.
Yeah, I don't know
It
how.
was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I don't
Duke
know.
should have got it, or Houston. I'd have been okay if
Or
they'd have made
Florida
it.
even.
Florida didn't win their regular season though.
Yeah, but
They got second.
yeah, but then they won the
So
tournament.
they did win the
Yeah.
tournament, but so did Duke and so did Houston.
If I had to rank them right now, I would probably put.
If you
Yeah,
really want me to evaluate it, I feel like Michigan State deserved an opportunity for winning their regular, but they didn't win their conference tournament.
yeah. I would put Auburn as the fourth number one right now.
I think so.
If I had to see them
I
right
think
now,
that'd be a fair way to do
I
it.
probably would have put Florida as one, and then Duke, Houston, and Auburn. Yeah. I mean, if the SEC is supposed to be that good,
If you polled the
you know.
nation, they'd probably agree with you on
Well,
that.
I'm just saying the SEC is supposed to be that good, so the team that
So,
won the tournament should be number
but
one.
I got Duke going all the way.
So we got three of the same Final Four, though. That's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
but I firmly
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I almost wanted just to call it the SEC Invitational, but then I
Because I
picked
think
half of them.
Auburn got very top loaded and Michigan State got a great draw at their bottom. They got a great bracket.
Well, and I always say in March, don't bet against Tom Izzo
And you know
unless he
what?
plays North Carolina, in which
And
case then.
maybe this is his last hurrah, so maybe the committee decided to give him a very weak 3 seed and a minimal 6 seed to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm with you on Ole Miss. I don't think they're that good. I think they go the second round, they get beat,
yeah. I mean, yeah, Ole Miss. That's
and
yeah,
and I think that's going to walk Michigan State right to the Elite Eight.
yeah. So overall, I hate my bracket. I hate that I have Auburn making it as far as I do. I hate that I have Alabama in the Final Four. I hate that I have three SEC teams in the Final Four because wow, that conference is way overrated. Wait till next year when they get 16 out of 16 teams in the tournament. By the way, because you know what happened to the two teams that didn't make it? Who were they? I don't even know. Yeah, I hate my bracket. Like I hate it. If even if I win our bracket pool, I still hate it.
This message is for John Shire. If I have to come back to this podcast because Baylor beat Duke second round, we're gonna have some words, and I'll make sure it goes
Yeah,
viral.
I mean, like I said though, I've not been as big on this Duke team as you have.
Jeremy Roach is gonna hate his life that
I
day.
thought that they had a better team last year. I think that they just
You've got to be kidding
I
me.
think they just ran into some
Oh,
problems with
you
matchups.
really don't believe that?
No, it really, yeah.
You think last year's team's better than this year's
I mean,
team?
yeah, I think they were more well balanced.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that last year's team would lose by
I will say
65.
they have being at the ACC tournament this week. The best player on the court played for
Knuckle.
Duke. Yeah, played for Duke. The only player that has an NBA future played for Duke. Yes. Yeah.
I can't wait for these future
Yeah.
podcasts. All right,
Yeah.
people in the comments,
Yeah.
please come in.
Well, see,
Give
I mean,
Cooper a little bit of defense because I don't think he really believes it.
Cooper
but-
Flag will be like
All right, Hornets, get the first pick.
Cooper Flag will be like the
They-
modern day version of Gordon Hayward. Which means he'll put up probably like 10, 7,
Oh
and
my
6, but
gosh.
you'll be like, does this guy really?
Hold on. Today is what day? March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, which apparently
2025.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to remember this podcast. We're going to come back to this podcast in about 5-6 years.
I mean, he's maybe
when he's the absolute face of the NBA.
no. Maybe he could be like Andre Kirilenko level. Maybe
I think, all kidding aside, in his career, he has potential to be a top 10 player in the current league, not all time, in the current league of when he's playing, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, and maybe Gordon Hayward at one point was the top 10.
I don't know about that. I think he has way more game than Gordon Hayward ever had.
Well, I said modern
Way
day,
more.
so it's it's a little different. Yeah, I think Colin Knippel probably has a more impactful career.
He's
Yeah.
a lot stronger than he looks. He gets to the goal great.
Well, I think if
And
he gets
nails that lob to Malawak better than anything.
if he gets put on the right NBA team, man, he could be pretty good. The problem is there's a reason we talk college basketball on the show because I think the NBA sucks.
It's not like it was when we were growing up, that's for
Man,
sure.
I was watching a game the other night. It took me 2 minutes before I realized which team was which because they were horrible uniforms. And then I was like, why is the crowd not into this? And then I looked at the matchup, and it's the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. I'm like, oh, yeah, obviously the crowd doesn't care. That was so bad. It was so bad.
I follow the NBA fringe in the middle of the season. I will watch the playoffs. I do get into
Well,
the playoffs for
the
sure.
playoff season does start soon, and it lasts for 7 months.
I love
It's kind of
Hey, it
remember
gives
that?
me 7 more months to
It always
football
It
season.
always reminds me of that scene from remember that movie Basketball.
I love that.
So remember when the commentators are like, "Yeah, we're still here," and then it looked like they haven't showered in weeks. I'm like, yeah, that's how long the NBA playoffs are. Like that reminds me of that.
Such a great movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, not a fan of the NBA. I think it sucks too because a lot of these kids are going to go pro and they won't develop and they'll end up on bad teams,
But-
bad situations like Malawak, for instance.
Yeah.
Could be a great player, but he's probably going to go pro, get drafted by a bad team, put in a bad situation. Next thing you know, man, he's going to be great for the Houston G League, whatever they're called.
And believe it or not, that's why I'm hoping, and anybody who wants to argue why, paying the players in the NIL is
Said
a
they
bad
stay.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to stay and they're going to get developed and they're going to get a college education.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of them do come back and finish.
Yeah. Like Drake Powell, I think
Sure.
Drake Powell could be like almost like a Draymond Green if he stays in school. But instead he might go pro and he'll be playing for the 96ers of the Australian League.
But a lot of these kids now, like I said, they're going to stay an extra year or two because they can let their draft stock build and they can get paid and they can get an education to represent the university. I think it's going to be great for college basketball following the transfer portal.
I think once they get it figured out exactly, because again, I think players are switching teams too much, and I think they need to get that under control. Like there's 30 something players that are playing on their 4th team in 4 years.
A lot of that had to do with COVID, though.
Well,
but I think
yeah.
we're coming out of that to where there's a point.
So I think there needs to be like
a 2-year contract.
Yeah, like I think you should only be allowed to switch schools one time.
Like let's say like Tyrese Proctor, you say you only should be allowed to switch schools one time.
Yeah.
I like that rule.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like I don't care if it's either your first year or your second year or your third year or whatever, but I think you should only be allowed to switch one time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I do like it. I think this will be a fun tournament though, man. I really do think this, and I think
Entertaining for
yeah,
sure.
and I think also there could be a chance where next week we might come back and say, hey, can we redo our bracket because we're totally wrong?
Oh yeah.
And I would be all for that because again,
I would love to come back next week and say, "Oh my gosh, Florida's out," and
yeah,
I'm sure you'd love to say Duke is out.
I would love if all four of my Final Four teams are out. Like,
So all right, so you're in this. I understand this so totally. Like last year, because I knew my boys, they went further than they were supposed to, for sure. But I never thought they'd be the national champion.
they almost
So
made
you're
it.
pulling
Yeah,
for chaos.
yeah,
You're pulling for
yeah.
chaos.
Well,
I
I
love
just
that.
I
I
also
love it.
just there's I
My
don't
team's legit, so we have a
yeah.
shot to go all the way. So I'm really into
Well,
that
my
right
big thing is there's no team that I really want to see win. Like last year, I was okay if UConn won. I kind of wanted to see back to back. I was okay if Purdue won because I think
now.
Zach Edey was maybe the best player in college basketball. This year, to me, there's not a team where I'm like, oh, I really kind of want to see them win.
Actually, I'm gonna throw this one out, and you can. This is mean. You can pretend that your Tar Heels are a contender. If it wasn't your team, like if it's not going to be Duke, who do you really would you really want to pull for and get behind them and hope they can go all the way? I definitely know my answer.
Man, I think there's I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Memphis make a run. I kind of want Penny. I
Okay.
want Penny to do something. Yeah, I mean, other than that, like I don't. I mean, yeah, I don't. I want to see Mark Few finally get a ring. That'd be good.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, that'd be
All
good.
right.
That'd be. But there's not really any of the top seeds where I'm like Alabama. I don't really want to
There's
see them
one.
win. Yeah, who do you got?
It's St. John's.
St. John's. Now,
I have a heart for Patino because I think he's an amazing coach. I think he's done great things wherever he is. I think
six.
he's got a few raw deals at a few different schools.
It's the sixth team he's led to the tournament.
And in this, it's not very likely. It'd be great Vegas odds. St. John's, it's not an impossible task to get by Florida. I would have written them in Auburn's bracket, and I would have written them in Houston's bracket. Is getting to the Final Four. I really, really would have.
I'll say this: I have a lot of faith in that team because Tom Izzo is very passionate about him.
You mean Patino?
Patino, I mean, yeah, Patino is very passionate about him, and the fact that he hates that team. He hates his team. So I love it. The more passionate he is, either way, whether he loves his team or hates his team, I know they're going on a run. So
I have a
yeah,
heart when great programs turn into garbage and then come back to being great.
St. John's was great
Oh, they've been legendary. Chris
before,
Mullen went there. Plus, they have very rich histories in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
but I mean, great. Now when they had
Great,
When they had Chris
no,
Mullen, yeah, when
but
they had Chris Mullen, but that was 4 years.
well, I mean, to me, you can rank them exactly with Gonzaga.
I mean, I think St. John's is a top 10 program of all time, but have they ever been great? I don't know. It's kind of like
Recently, no.
it's like when people tell me NC State was great. I'm like, yeah, like way before my dad's lifetime. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I watched that one on videotape,
yeah,
cassette,
yeah.
VCR.
I heard about that. People used to listen to it on the radio. No, dude, this will be a fun tournament. I'm
I
excited.
can't wait.
I'm excited. Good luck to our brackets. Good luck to
Yes.
everybody's bracket. Yeah, chaos is what I'm rooting for. And yeah, the SEC
I think you're
Invitational.
gonna get it, man.
Yeah, the SEC Invitational starts soon. So
So there's 14 in. We never determined how many get to the second weekend.
oh yeah, I never even saw it. Let's see. Let's see how many I got going. I didn't see. I think I have six. I think making the second weekend. I think actually.
I'm trying to. I'm doing mine in my head right now.
Uh, that's a lot actually.
Yeah.
um,
I got three almost certainties.
in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So one.
We're just getting. Yeah. Sweet 16.
Yeah. So Sweet 16. One, two.
Tennessee, Florida,
Two,
Auburn.
three,
Not. Yeah. You do have Auburn.
four. I got four from the
Four.
Sweet 16. So I only got one making the Sweet 16, not making the Final Four. And that's Auburn. Yeah. So I got 10 SEC teams losing first weekend. Whew, that makes me feel better. That's how we're getting into the show right there. Brandon, it's been fun, dude.
Yes, it has.
It's been
Can't
fun.
wait for the next one.
Exactly. And all you people out there, we'll check you later.